And welcome to Connected Conversations for Creatives. I'm your host, Jennifer Carr, and on today's solo episode, we are talking goals versus expectations and what that means for us as creatives. First, let me give you a backstory as to how I wound up here. A few weeks ago, there was a video going around social media in which two people were debating which was better, pie or cake, and it had jaws everywhere hitting the floor. Not because it was definitively decided which one was better, but because of one of the simple statements that was asked. Let's listen to it together.
For me, I pick cake because the ceiling for cake is so high.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best pie I've ever had is like 2% better than every pie I've ever had at Costco.
Are you trying to achieve greatness or are you trying to avoid disappointment?
Ooh. I have to go to therapy right now. I can't answer that.
And just like that, not only was I left speechless, but I mulled that over for days. And then it led me to create a response. So I want to share that with you as well. There was an amazing question posed several days ago in a conversation about cake versus pie here on social media. When asked to decide if they would choose between the best piece of cake they'd ever had or the best piece of pie they'd ever had, it was countered with the question, are you trying to achieve greatness or are you trying to avoid disappointment? Well, after many of us immediately called our therapists and requested an additional meeting for the week and began unpacking the weight of that statement, that question continued to plague me. Are you trying to achieve greatness or are you trying to avoid disappointment? It highlights a fundamental difference in mindset that can significantly impact your motivation, your behavior, and ultimately your success. As a writer or creator, it's easy to get caught up in the pressure to produce something amazing every single time. But sometimes that pressure can hold us back or cause us to procrastinate because we're afraid of not living up to our own expectations. When you are primarily focused on avoiding disappointment, you're more likely to engage in behaviors that are driven by fear, self-doubt, and a desire to avoid failure. You may set low expectations for yourself or avoid taking risks altogether in order to protect yourself from the potential pain of disappointment or failure. While this mindset may help you avoid short-term setbacks, it can limit your potential for growth and achievement in the long run. On the other hand, when you are focused on achieving greatness, you are more likely to engage in behaviors that are driven by a sense of purpose, passion, and a desire for excellence. You may set high goals for yourself and be willing to take risks, learn from failures, and persist in the face of challenges. While this mindset may involve more risk and potential for disappointment, it also offers the potential for greater growth, learning, and fulfillment. When you focus solely on achieving greatness, you may set unrealistic expectations for yourself that can be difficult to meet. This can lead to burnout, frustration, and even giving up altogether. On the other hand, when you focus on the joy of the creative process and the satisfaction of doing something you love, you'll likely find that the end result is even better than you expected. It's important to take a step back and evaluate your motivations. Are you focused on the end result and the praise or validation that may come with it? Or are you driven by the process of creating and the satisfaction of doing something you love? To evaluate whether your mindset is focused on avoiding disappointment or achieving greatness, as an author or creative person, you can reflect on your motivation for writing or creating and your goals for your work. Ask yourself questions like, why do I write? What is my purpose or motivation for creating this work? What are my goals for this work? Are they primarily focused on avoiding disappointment or achieving greatness? Am I willing to take risks, learn from failures, and persist in the face of challenges in order to achieve my goals? By answering these questions honestly and thoughtfully, you can gain insight into your mindset and make adjustments as needed to set realistic and achievable goals that align with your values and your passions. So take a deep breath. Let go of the pressure to be perfect, and remember why you started creating in the first place. It's not about being the best. It's about enjoying the journey and expressing yourself through your art. After I posted that video, I started thinking about what my motivation was to be creative and if I was setting unrealistic expectations for myself. I had to evaluate my goals and make some adjustments. And you'll never believe what I discovered. I had blurred the lines between my goals and my expectations. Setting goals and expectations for ourselves is an essential part of achieving success in any area of our lives, whether it's personal, professional, or creative. However, failing to distinguish between the two can lead to disappointment, frustration, and even failure. So let's start by defining the terms. Goals are specific, measurable, and achievable objectives that we set for ourselves. They're often focused on a particular outcome or achievement, such as finishing a book, submitting a piece of art for judgment, whatever, earning an award. Goals are important because they help us to stay focused, they help us stay motivated and on track. They give us something concrete to aim for and a way to measure our progress along the way. Expectations, on the other hand, are beliefs or assumptions we have about what will happen in the future. They're often based on past experiences, social norms, cultural values. Expectations can be positive or negative, and they can have significant impacts on our emotions, our attitudes, and behaviors. For example, if we expect to win a competition that we are entering our art into, we may feel confident and energized. But if we go in expecting to fail, which means anything less than winning, we may feel anxious and demotivated. So, how do we set goals and expectations effectively? And how do we manage success and failure of both? When setting goals, it is important to be specific and precise about what it is you want to achieve. For example, if your goal is to write a book, you need to define what kind of book you want to write, how many pages or words you want it to be, what topics or themes you're wanting to explore. This specificity helps us to focus on what we need to do and how we can measure our progress. Sticking with the writing examples, it's also important to set achievable goals that are within your control. So if your word count goal is 2,000 words a day, you need to focus on making the time to actually write those words. Figure out how long it takes you to pound out 2,000 words. Now, we cannot control the circumstances life throws at us at times, but we can control our own efforts and the preparation we put into achieving our goals. So if 2,000 is consistently too many words, make adjustments to that number until it becomes achievable. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. Moreover, setting realistic goals that align with values, interests, and abilities that we have is crucial for maintaining motivation and engagement. If we are not passionate about a certain goal, or if it requires skills or resources we don't have, it might be difficult to stay committed and persist in pursuing it. If you are consistently missing the 2,000 word a day mark, you're going to get down on yourself and assume that you're just not a good writer, when the fact of the matter may be you have too many other responsibilities that hold you back from being able to put out 2,000 words. So if you need to take it down to 1,500, 1,000, even 500 words a day, make the goal realistic for your circumstances. Finally, breaking down larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks and tracking your progress regularly. It's going to help you stay on track and motivated, right? So with our goal of writing a book, if our overarching goal is to write a book in 6 months, get the first draft out there in 6 months, we can set smaller goals such as writing a certain number of pages or chapters per week and tracking our progress through a writing log or a journal, however you want to keep up with it. By breaking down larger goals into smaller achievable tasks, we avoid the feeling of overwhelm, we avoid being discouraged, we build momentum towards our ultimate goal. All right. Now we need to be aware of our expectations and how they may impact our motivation and performance. It is important to recognize that our expectations may be influenced by factors outside of our control, such as pressures from friends, family, peer comparison. Ooh, that's terrible in the creative world. But it is a real thing, and it is probably one of the overarching pressures out there for creative people. We need to examine our beliefs and our assumptions about what we can achieve and challenge those things that are limiting or unrealistic. We need to recognize that success and failure are not binary outcomes, but they're just part of a continual learning process. We should embrace both successes and failures, use them as opportunities for growth and development. Okay. So, one way to manage success and failure is to set short-term and long-term goals. Our short-term goals help us to track our progress and provide a sense of accomplishment along the way. Long-term goals help us stay focused on our overall objectives, and they provide a roadmap for our journey towards success, right? When you're looking at a map, if we even do that anymore, I love looking at our giant like road atlas, and you can say, I am here and I want to go here. And you can watch the little roads and see all of the mountains and all of the streets and all of the rivers and lakes, all the things that you're going to have to cross over and go around to get from point A to point B. And that's what managing our success and failure looks like through short-term and long-term goals. The long term, I want to get from here to here. And the short term is I'm going to have to go over this mountain to get there. I'm going to have to go around this river to get there. And then I will eventually land at my destination. Another way to manage success and failure is to seek feedback from others. Feedback can help us identify areas where we need to improve, but it also provides valuable insights into our strengths and weaknesses. So we need to be open to constructive feedback and use it to refine our approach and adjust our goals and expectations. Authors, find writing groups, a writing mentor, utilize beta readers, whatever you need to do. Just remember, whatever source of feedback you choose, if they don't add value to your life or to your work, then they are not your people. You need to find feedback from people who will encourage you, who will make you better at what you do, and who will offer up criticisms that will make you better without tearing you down. Managing success and failure is a critical part of achieving goals and expectations. While, yes, celebrate your successes, recognize them as providing room for improvement as well, right? Accept your failures by using them as a way to learn and grow and adapt. Adopt this growth mindset and positive attitude towards both success and failure so that when you do achieve your goals and expectations, you are better for it in the end. And just continue to grow and develop throughout your entire creative journey. Growth mindset. I've said this term a couple times now. What is it? It is simply the belief that we can develop our abilities through hard work, practice, and learning. It means embracing challenges, seeking feedback, being open to new experiences. And by adopting this growth mindset, we can turn setbacks into opportunities and use our goals and expectations as a way to just continually improve. This mindset is crucial for achieving success in any area of your life, right? You can use it in your creative life, you can use it in your personal life, you can use it in your professional life. The idea is that our abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. So individuals who have a growth mindset are more likely to persist in the face of challenges and setbacks and see these obstacles as opportunities and not roadblocks. So you look at writing a book and you think, I cannot write this book. But clearly, if you have sat down to write a book, you have a story in mind that you want to tell. So just start putting it on paper, face that challenge head on, take those doubts and questions in the back of your mind, push them out of the way, and just put your words on paper. Because then you find writing feedback groups, you find editors, whatever it is you need to do to help you get past the challenges that are holding you back. So let me sum it up. Okay. Goals and expectations are the guiding stars, right, that illuminate your path towards your dreams. They provide us with a clear vision of where we want to go. They serve as the driving force that propels you forward, even in the face of challenges. Without goals and expectations, we would be adrift, just lacking direction and purpose. So goals help us set our sights on what we want to achieve, right, giving us a sense of purpose and motivation. They provide us with a roadmap outlining steps we need to take to make our dreams a reality. Goals give us something to strive for, to work towards, and to measure our progress against. They give us a sense of accomplishment when we achieve them, and they push us to go beyond our limits. Expectations, on the other hand, are the standards we set for ourselves. They reflect our belief in our own potential and what we're capable of achieving. Expectations challenge us to rise above our current circumstances, to push ourselves to new heights and never settle for mediocrity. They serve as a constant reminder that we are capable of greatness and can achieve extraordinary things. Having goals and expectations not only keep us focused, but they also help us persevere through the inevitable setbacks and obstacles we may encounter on our journey. They give us resilience to bounce back from failures, to learn from mistakes, to keep moving forward with our determination and our resolve. Goals and expectations keep us accountable, right? Urging us to stay committed to our dreams, even when the going gets tough. So dare to dream big, set ambitious goals, raise your expectations. With goals and expectations as your compass, you can overcome any obstacle and reach for the stars, making your dreams a reality. Thanks for joining me today. If you're an author looking for resources to make yourself a better writer, check out my website, jcarwrites.com. Want to be a guest on the show and have a conversation about some of the challenges creatives face in the world? Check out the link in the show notes. I'd love to hang out with you sometime. In the meantime, go be creative, be authentic, and look for opportunities to make a new authentic connection.